This is the tenor video for the Kyrie on the first movement of the Haydn Nelson Mass. I'm going to play the tenor line all the way through, without the other parts almost all the time. And I will remind us all of one or two things that came up in rehearsal of this movement. The first thing to say at the opening, so I'll be starting at letter A, is we talked about the vowel on Kyrie, that vowel that pushes forward. It's not a wide E, Kyrie, but Kyrie. Push it forward a little bit. And the second thing is the rhythm on eleison. Most of the time, Haydn gives us a quaver for each of the syllables, and that needs to be a little bit marked, laison, so we can hear the articulation clearly. But at other times, for example, 5 bars after A, he gives only one note for the whole of lay. And on those, we sing on the A vowel and then just go A before we do zon. Eleison. And then we will get a better blend. So I'm going to start from letter A, and I'll stop when we get to Christe. So here is your D. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2. 2, 3. Hold, and then the soloist. And then we're into the soprano soloist. Right, the Christe section, don't forget that you need to sing the little bit marked solo and then be ready to come in the next tutti on Christe as well. And that will take us then to letter C. And at letter C, we've still got that rhythm, T, ta, 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 T. But we've also got one or two things to watch. For example, watch the semitone intervals in the passage. Quite a lot of descending semitones which don't want to go down too far. And then later on in the passage between C and D, those moments where the music builds up. So for you, it's at the bottom of page 5. The bass is sing on an A, and then you come in on a B. And we need that sense of building up as the music goes up in pitch, take up the tension until really just before letter D. It's quite a big build up. So I'm going to play the whole passage now from the soprano soloist on Christe, which is at the top of page 3, and I'll carry on playing until we get to the top of page 7, to letter D, and then remind you of one or two other things. So here's the soloist on Christe. that takes us almost up to letter D. I think we were working quite successfully at the top of page 6 on that on that jump up. That was always sounding really good, but be ready for that moment. It comes out of the blue a little bit. So when we get to letter D, we have more of these descending semitones to be careful of, and another build-up which is taking us, in fact, preparing us for letter E. Now, if you look at 6 bars before E, we need to be very careful here of the rhythm, to make sure that you sing the rhythm at the same time as the sopranos and fit in with the basses and the accompaniment. So that's a little moment to be aware of. And I think when we get there, we can carry on at letter E, which of course is a reprise of the opening. So I'll carry on from there until the pause that comes on page 10 before letter F. So I'm playing from, I've rather forgotten where I got to. We did the build-up, didn't we? So we're going from letter D, Bass. And 1, 2. And 1, 2. Rhythm. To reprise. Two, three. Hold and off, and then the soloist carries on, dealing then with the last major set of entries really, at letter F. Again, it has a sense of building up. For you in the tenor part, there's less to do here because you're the last part to come in. But again, watch for semitones that are both descending and ascending semitones here. So the tuning needs to be very neat. And then as we get to the end of page 11, this is very important for tenors. Just the very last beat of page 11, remember, is slightly less. It becomes less in the texture, but it's challenging for you because you're coming on that F, and then the G, and we want that to be lighter, a lighter feel there, so be ready for that. So here we are at letter F. I'll play the 3 bars before you come in with the other parts. On with solo. The last section is really just a little coda, but at G, one of the things we found in rehearsal was making sure that you're not tempted to come in early at letter G. The music makes you want to come in at G, and of course it's not. The orchestra, the accompaniment plays at G, and then you answer the bar after. So that's one of the main things to watch. The other thing to watch in this section is going into the second system on page 13 with the sudden piano just for 2 bars and 1 beat, and then back to forte, which again we covered in rehearsal. So here are 3 bars before letter G. 3 before G. 2, 3. 2, 3, piano, 2, 3, 1. Back to forte. 2, 3, off. And now if you're content, you can go on to the video with all 4 parts in and the accompaniment to sing through the movement.